morning, good morning, good morning, all souls. I am recording this video way after we had recorded the service that you are about to enter into. But I thought it was important to say, hooray, hooray, we can exhale, we can celebrate. We have celebrated, so many of us, this news that we have new leadership, more encouraging leadership in the White House. So I celebrate with you, prepare for the work ahead, but for now and in this moment, we get to say, hooray, thank goodness, and thank you to so many of you, so many Americans who have worked so hard, so that this moment may pass. Thank all of you. Thank you to the ancestors who are smiling down upon us. Thank you. We give thanks. And now we worship together.
Good morning, and welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Congregation in New London, Connecticut. I'm Ann Kadlecek, intern minister, here with the Reverend Carolyn Patierno and Perry Montrose, director of faith formation. We also have the technical wizardry of Jesse Edwards, music from Gery, Elliott, and others, our chalice lighter, Kiana, and beautiful slides from Tammy. Today is the Sunday after Election Day. And although the election lingers in many ways, it still feels good to say those words, after Election Day. It has been the longest election season ever. I don't know if that's technically true, but it is experientially true. And here we are. There's still much to do and more hard things ahead, but let's not go there right away. Let us pause here. Breathe here. Come into this space and this community on this Sunday after Election Day. We begin our worship with these words from Unitarian Universalist minister Anastasia Zinke, inspired by Howard Thurman's The Work of Christmas. This is the work of democracy. When the lights of the polling places are switched off, when the banners from rallies come down, when the organizers and poll workers are back home, when lawyers archive their casework, then the work of democracy begins. To heal the nation, to contain the pandemic, to provide for the destitute, to release the children prisoners, to call each other neighbor and countryman, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart. Welcome to All Souls, where all souls are welcome. With music in our hearts, you are joyfully called to worship. Our opening hymn is number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song, and I invite you to sing along with Nick Evento.
My life flows on in endless song, a barbarous lamentation. I hear the real, though far of him, that is a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? But though the tempest round me roars, I know the truth it liveth. But though the darkness round me glows, songs in the night it giveth, no storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging, when friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
Each week, we light a chalice, the symbol of our faith. We are grateful this week to have Kiana present to lead us in the chalice lighting words and pass the flame to Carolyn.
We say these words together. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share.
It is our ritual each week to light a candle of peace or gratitude. This week, we light a candle with the hope that our country will find peace in a time of contention. We wish for the light of truth to shine for us a path forward into a brighter future, one in which protest is a tool to bring attention to injustices inflicted on those historically oppressed. One in which the health of our nation includes the well-being of all people, and one in which we have embraced the social progress that honors our diversity. May the deeper peace that comes from that awakening lift our hearts and bring together many voices into a song that unites the soul of our nation. Today's reading is adapted from the poem November Eyes by Richard Blanco, a man of Cuban descent with immigrant parents, who was the inaugural poet in 2012 when President Obama was reelected. He wrote this poem after the 2016 election, and it was included in his book of poems, How to Love a Country, published by Beacon Press. I question everyone, everything, even the sun, as I drive east down Main Street, radio off, to Amy's Diner. She smiles her usual good morning, but her eyes askew say something like, "You believe this?" As she wipes the counter, tosses aside the Journal Times, the election headlines as bitter as the coffee she pours for me without a blink. After a cup and a blueberry muffin, I remember my bills are due by the 15th. So I cross on Main to the post office. Those American flag stamps are all Debbie has left. I refuse to buy them. Never mind in my eyes, which she dismisses with a gesture of suit yourself. Bills can wait, but not my dog's treats or the milk I'm out of. So I drive up Main again to the food basket. Paper or plastic? Jan asked me at the checkout. But it doesn't matter. What matters is this. She's been to my barbecues. I've donated to her son's football league. We've shoveled each other's driveways. We send each other Christmas cards. She knows I'm Latino and gay. Yet suddenly, I don't know who she is as I read the button on her polyester vest. Make America Great Again. Meaning, she doesn't really know me either. We manage smiles when she hands me my change, but our locked eyes say nothing. So I dash off. I swing by Union Hardware, see Dan, who knows me. He rings me up, doesn't say goodbye, says good luck, as if his eyes can see the uncertainty in my own. Worried about my immigrant cousin, factory jobs, groped women, hijabs, blacklists, bans, the church, the deep state, cops, race, and which lives matter. Hacked votes, refugee camps, missiles, suicide bombers, carbon footprints, polar bears, my gay marriage, the bills for my pre-existing ulcer flaring, more guns, more corporate rights, the empty Supreme Court seats, the border wall, bullying, the demise of language, news, the silence of suspicion, the uneasy guessing, the surprise of who's who, the cheers and gloating or jeers and swearing, the final picking of sides, right or left, red or blue state, city or town, but no gray today, except for the November clouds looming over Main Street with all the rest of our unrest. Arrested in our eyes, clashing against each other's glares, ready for battle. Thus ends the reading.
Thank you, Perry, for that very beautiful interpretation of a very powerful and in many ways devastating poem. Yes, the Sunday after Election Day, there are things to celebrate, and yet there is so much to be disheartened by, and so I begin. Like every Sunday preacher recording services ahead of time, we are recording this in what will be yesterday as you're watching. I put off finishing the sermon until Saturday morning, this morning, hoping for a definitive presidential election result. Well, that didn't happen, but that's okay. Let every vote count. And besides, even with the results, this message would have been the same. All Souls Day was this past week, a Catholic holy day that invites prayers for the faithful departed who now dwell in purgatory, that their passage from that place to heaven will be swift. We are not Catholic, but we are All Souls. And this past week, we were certainly held, it felt like, in a kind of purgatory, an in-between state of uncertainty. Now, purgatory has no place in Unitarian Universalist theology, but as it turns out, there is a thread that I would like to pull on that needs pulling about now. The thread that pulls us toward atonement. Bernice Johnson Reagan set Ella Baker's words, Ella Baker, the human rights activist, set Ella's words to music in a song called Ella's Song, and she sang, "We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. And the lyric continues. It says this: not needing to clutch for power, not needing the light just to shine on me. I need to be just one in the number as we stand against tyranny. So raise your hand at home, raise your hand in the chat if you thought that you would be this past week just one in a large number of voters who with their votes would stand against tyranny, would soundly repudiate all that Richard Blanco names in his poem, repudiate the racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, classism, and pure cruelty the current administration has amplified since 2017. You are not alone if you held hope that the vote would be a clear repudiation. There was much talk about this hope that did not come to pass, and here's a sampling from 3 African-American journalists. On Wednesday night, the journalist Joy Reid talks about how she felt on election night as she witnessed the red mirage, the early results that by all predictions were going to lean right. Reid says that for 5 years, she has been reporting on Russia, racism, Nazism, impeachment, and now COVID on top of it all. So she thought that surely repudiation was coming. But instead, she said, as the night wore on, it sunk in. We are still who we thought, she said. In restrained understatement, she concluded, it's disappointing. Van Jones is a writer and political commentator. He said, there's a moral victory and there's a political victory. They are not the same thing. For people who saw babies being snatched away from their mothers at the border, people who are sending their kids into schools where the N-word is now used against them, people seeing this wave of intolerance, we wanted a moral victory tonight, a repudiation of this direction. That it's this close, Jones said, just hurts. Karen Ataya is an editor at the Washington Post. For context, I offer that she was Jamal Khashoggi's editor, who you may remember was assassinated at the Saudi consulate in Turkey. Ataya also called out the lack of repudiation, but she added that the down ballot races reflected a complete lack of interest in holding accountable those who enabled the disaster that is the current administration. E pluribus unum. It is our country's motto since the 18th century, out of many, one. The challenge, of course, is that it is so difficult, demoralizing, confounding to imagine a path forward that would make out of many Americans, many Americas, one indivisible nation. How out of many do we make one when we, like the poet, question everyone, everything, even the sun? When we look to our neighbors and suddenly realize, I don't know who you are, and you don't know me. Alas, I do not have an answer to this question that asks how to effectively respond to such evil, except to say that I have become bolder and more comfortable in naming it as evil. This administration's policies, from immigration to taxation, are evil. And to put a fine point on it, so are the people who put those policies in place. I'm becoming bolder and naming my country's sinfulness exactly as that, sinful. Bolder in saying that unless there is deep atonement, we will remain in the purgatory that is of our collective making. And because I know definitions are important to you, I understand evil and sinfulness as an intentional and uncaring break in right relationship with our highest ideals and better angels. A break in right relationship with God, for some. A break in relationship with God without care of how one's actions adversely affect others. For example, Richard Blanco's poem describes the effect of the 2016 election, how that affected him the next day, the fear he harbored for himself, his family, his country. And in the 4 years that followed, his fear proved to be valid. That the pain that has been in full view for 4 years wasn't soundly repudiated this past week indicates that there is even more work for us to do in the 4 years to come. We know what is being asked of those of us who believe in freedom, that is progressive change. For one, we cannot rest, and we won't, just as we have not. In part, the presidential election has gone the way it has because of the effort of so many Americans to participate in the process. The past 4 years have brought home the point that democracy, a central Unitarian Universalist value, is not a spectator sport. That we voted in record-breaking numbers is something to celebrate, as is the dancing that happened outside many a polling station. Joy to the polls was the rallying cry. There was indeed joy at the polls. And here's what's also true. These two truths stand close together. Again, these are the words and wisdom of Richard Blanco, who wrote in another poem, "How I still want to sing for my country despite all the truth of our wars and our gunshots ringing louder than our school bells, our politicians smiling lies at the mic, the deadlock of our divided voices shouting over each other instead of singing together. How I want to sing again," he writes, "beautiful or not, just to be in harmony from sea to shining sea with the only country I know enough to know how to sing for." The United States of America is the only country I know enough to know how to sing for. We sing, "This is my home, the country where my heart is." But our hearts are grieving because we now question everyone and everything. We grieve because although the White House will soon, I'm knocking wood, we still don't know, will soon be occupied by leaders who know something about governing by and for the people, still so many people have been battered. So many people have died. So many people have been deported. So many people have been driven from their homes because of storms that bring fire, flood, and wind. And still, through all the tumult and the strife, I want to sing for my country. I want to sing songs of protest, songs of peace, songs of joy, songs that will move us to realize a more perfect union. In a letter sent out this week, UUA President Susan Frederick Gray said that Unitarian Universalism calls us to repair the moral basis of our common life. We will not be able to do that unless we find joy in the doing. Love, truth, and beauty will lead the way out of the purgatory in which we currently dwell. And all that work needs to happen, no matter who sits in the White House. You know this truth. You know what we must do. As my mother would say at this moment, it'll be fun. And it will. There will be celebration, and then there will be the hard work that has transpired long before this moment and will continue on, because democracy is not a spectator sport. So let's go. Amen. And blessed be. Amen. The musical meditation that you are about to hear is Voice Still and Small. We've been living in a lot of noise, a cacophony of tension and anger, cheers and gloating, jeers and swearing, the picking of sides, said Richard Blanco. And this song reminds us that we must quiet our own hearts, that we must listen carefully to the voice still and small. And so I offer this musical meditation to you and for your hearts and minds and souls.
Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing, voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing, in storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing.
Thank you, Reverend Caitlin and Reverend Carolyn. We now enter into our offering for the life and work of this congregation. We know this remains a time of financial uncertainty and challenges for many. We invite you to give in whatever amount feels right for you today. Contributions are welcome through Venmo or PayPal or by check or online banking. Let us prepare for giving as we do each week by saying these words together. We give to the work of all souls. Our work weaves the fabric of love called community. To this end, we dedicate ourselves and this, our offering. The offering will be gratefully received. all that you have given, all that you have sacrificed. Thank you. We pause now to lift up joys and sorrows of this gathered community. There are two ways to share. One is by email to belovedcommunity@allsouls.net. And joys and sorrows that are received by 2 p.m. on Thursday are read aloud in the service. Or now, you can share by entering your joy or sorrow into the chat, where it will be witnessed and held by those assembled here in silence. As you type your joys and sorrows in the chat, we will light candles of intention for a minute of silence to give you time to share. We witness each joy and sorrow that has been shared here. Know that you are held in love. And in the embrace of that love, let us enter into a time of stillness and prayer. Spirit of life and love, God of all the names by which you are known and loved, we come here this morning as people immersed in the chaos, the waiting, the tragedy, the joy, the fear, and the love of our world. Some of us are exhausted, afraid, determined, hopeful. All of those and more are here with us this morning. However we come, as we pause here, help us to catch our breath. In this moment of stillness, in community, help us to find gratitude for the joys, comfort for the sorrows. Help us to rekindle our courage and commitment for our lives and for the work of democracy. And may the love that sustains us shine ever brighter in our hearts, offering hope for what is to come. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Anne. Our closing hymn this morning is "This Is My Song," because how could it be any other? So let us join our voices to sing a song for our nation through all the tumult and the strife. I invite you to sing out where you are and know that your voice is joining other voices now.
This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands of far and wide. soul, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
As we extinguish our chalice, please join with me in saying these words. Our service has ended, but our work is not yet done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week. Our chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion.
As we do each week, I invite you to place your hand over your heart and reach out to a community that you know is there and steady and present. I'd like to share words from Richard Blanco once again. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that we are the cure for hatred caused by despair. We are the good morning of a bus driver who remembers our name, the tattooed man who gives up his seat on the subway. We are every door held open with a smile when we look into each other's eyes the way we behold the moon. We are the moon. We are the promise of one people, one breath, declaring to one another, I see you. I need you. I am you. I see you, souls. I see you. We see each other. And so go in peace into this tumultuous time that is with hope, and return again next Sunday with great joy. Amen. 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 There are announcements, of course, as ever, and so I want to begin by sharing with you that this Sunday is the last time that we will be recording. At least one of us will be recording from Unity Hall, because on Monday, the Homeless Hospitality Center will be living here in our sanctuary, providing sanctuary to folks experiencing homelessness from now until March. You may remember, you have heard and read that All Souls is hosting, in partnership, of course, with HHC, the Overflow Hospitality Center. And so we are so grateful that we can offer this space at this time, and that there will be sanctuary for those who most need it. The sanctuary has been broken down. I'm gonna turn my laptop around so you can see what exactly is out here. So hopefully this will work. So you can see that here. Okay, great. So what you're seeing is behind what used to be what is that called? The fortress that surrounds the garbage pails outside has been brought inside to surround the deconstructed organ. So that's what that is in Unity Hall. And then the whole sanctuary has been turned into a place of respite and rest. It will be where meals are taken up. You can see that everything is socially distanced. So that is how the room looks. And then the Emerson room is going to be used for staff. So that's set up as an office space. It works beautifully as an office space. So again, I wanted to share that with all of you so you see what this sanctuary looks like and how it will be used. Thank you for your good thoughts and prayers and energy that that those who make their way to this place are kept safe and content and well. All right, Perry.
Yes, so there is faith formation this morning shortly at 11 a.m. And we're going to have some fun focusing on our principles. And personally, I look forward to playing Win the White House with the 7th to 9th graders. It's going to be great. Also, each year at this time, we ask you to share your gratitudes to be read during the Thanksgiving service. And in this season of gratitude, during this especially challenging year, we ask you to send us a sentence or two about an unexpected blessing that you are thankful for. And you can send that to Tammy at office@allsouls.net. So please email those in for the Thanksgiving service. Also, today, we have a special treat during our postlude. We are going to have Halloween pictures. There's a Halloween slideshow. So what could be the better combination of scary and joy and just a great way to go out today. So enjoy that along with the postlude from Gery and from Bill. From Bill, not from Gery. Sorry. Sorry, Bill. So enjoy, and we will see you next Sunday.